it's Candy, and today we're going to take a moment to talk about Lamar Odom. Now, let me go ahead and preface this with the fact that I'm a Kardashian and Jenner fan, not a hater. So if that's going to bother you in any way, which I don't really plan on talking about them much, but if that's going to bother you in any way, go ahead and click on this little X right up here so that you don't get all mad and frustrated inside and feel like you need to leave a mean, moderated, by the way, comment. Like, I'm not into all of that, so I'll give you a second to take care of that. So over a week ago, Lamar Odom, 35 years old, is found unresponsive, unconscious in a brothel in Nevada. If you don't know who Lamar Odom is, Lamar Odom was a very successful basketball player. He played for the NBA. He was drafted by the Clippers. He was drafted first round, 4th overall. So in a draft, there's several rounds, and he was one of the first. He was the 4th to be picked in the entire draft, okay? So that shows like his talent is pretty good, at least through college was great, and actually even in the NBA was great, as we're going to go over real quick. He was drafted by the Clippers, stayed a few years there, picked up by Miami Heat. That's how I had heard of him. 1, I'm a huge basketball fan, and 2, I'm a Miami Heat fan, so he was on my team for a year, I think 1 season, maybe 2, I think 1 season though. Then he went to the Lakers, where he won 2 NBA championships with the Lakers. He also won one of those years, like 6th man, which is the last guy off the bench. It doesn't matter, but he won that award too. Oh, in his rookie season, he won Rookie of the Year too. Then after the Lakers traded him to the Mavs. He went to the Mavs and played a season, I believe, maybe 2. Then back to the Clippers, and then he hasn't played. Oh, he went to Spain and played a little bit there for a hot minute. To give you a quick little rundown of his unfortunate events in his life, his father is a drug addict. Whether he is recovering or still using, that is here nor there, but he wasn't really around in his life. His mother died from cancer at 12 years old, leaving his grandmother to raise him. When he was 23 years old, his grandmother then passed away. And then a couple years later, he had a 7-month-old son die of SIDS. He also had 2 children with his ex as well, who are like hit and miss, come and go kind of thing. Who knows all the details with all of that. He then met Khloe Kardashian, who is the reality TV side of all of this, right? So he met her, a month whirlwind romance, they get married, and they actually seem like they really had a great relationship from what you could tell by watching shows or seeing them out, or, you know, people who really are in love and people who really do like each other, it shows. You glow, it shows. My fiance and I have been together 7 years, and we love each other more every day. We're not the same. We're not that couple that doesn't want to be around each other. In fact, we would rather be around each other most of the time, you know. I mean, obviously you need your own time, but I feel that Khloe and Lamar kind of were like that as well. Now TV's TV and paparazzi's paparazzi, but I just always felt like there was a genuine connection between the two. Lamar was doing drugs before he ever met the Kardashians. Let's get that out of the way really quick, because a lot of people are like, well, being with a Kardashian, it makes you do dirt. But Lamar Odom has been known for doing drugs. I mean, that's after the whole Laker thing, you know, I think that's why he didn't do much NBA. He was really battling crack at the time. He did a whole lot of crack, and he was battling that. And Khloe definitely stuck by his side through a lot of it, actually kept his secrets hidden, we found out. And even recently, in the most recent episode of this season, which didn't include Lamar at all because they were estranged and had filed for divorce, she cried a lot about him and would scream at Kim and say, like, I would still be with Lamar if it were my choice. And, you know, you can only try to hold things together for so long. So then he had the failed marriage with a Kardashian and the pressure of reality TV. I'm sure that's really hard to deal with. So he had all of those pressures. Everything I just went over, he's dealing with all of that. Now, it's not an excuse to use, but that's not any of our business. It's just none of our business, and we aren't here to judge somebody like that. Being around addicts and alcoholics pretty much for a very long time, I can tell you that at some point you have to set a boundary and say, listen, I can't deal with your abusive behavior anymore when you are in that state of mind, or I can't fathom seeing you pretty much fucking die. So the story is that Khloe severed all communication in the middle of the summer. Khloe has dated a few guys since then, was currently in a relationship with James Harden, who is another NBA player. That's here nor there. I'm sure that also did some damage to him because he's very publicly adamant that he was really, really, really in love with Khloe. Also this year, he had 2 very close friends of his die of an overdose too. Like his actual best friend died of an overdose, and then another very close friend in their circle died of overdoses. So he has been through a lot of fucking shit, like not just this year, not just last year, but he's been through a lot of shit since his childhood. So we don't know what demons have went on inside of his head this whole time, right? So the story goes that he was partying pretty heavy for a few days at the Love Ranch owned by Dennis Hoff in Nevada, kind of near Vegas, but not exactly at Vegas. But he had partied there for a few days with a couple hookers, and he had Dennis Hoff's personal place. And there are conflicting reports. The reports are that he wasn't paying for the room because he's friends with Dennis Hoff, but then the other reports come out saying that he spent $75,000 there, and that's a lot of money. And then there are reports that, like, they ransacked his stuff. So all the reports are whatever, and you can read up on that. I'm not going to go all over that because who knows the reality of that. But what I do know is Dennis Hoff is very shisty and disgusting. And Dennis Hoff was on TV talking about all of it and slamming Khloe Kardashian and, like, fuck her. I'm not, like, he was very negative about Khloe Kardashian and rude about it, the Kardashians in general. And he has done interview after interview after interview with this, and actually his Love Ranch has spiked up in sales because people, I guess, want to go there and see what the hell's going on. But there's something with Dennis Hoff that I don't trust. Also, one of the hookers went missing. They have since found her. She left the ranch. She wanted nothing to do with it. She didn't want to talk about it. She was just really emotionally tore up. And so apparently she went with her family, like, far away or whatever. And so they found her, but she wants nothing to do with that right now. Dennis Hoff has come out and said he's not paying the 2 hookers because he feels they were involved with the drugs somehow, even though he was very adamant Lamar was not on drugs when he was at the Love Ranch. The 911 call states that he had been doing cocaine, so there's conflicting reports with that. And now Dennis Hoff is saying, like, I think the hookers may have had something to do with the drugs. My personal opinion is Dennis Hoff got the drugs for him, but that's here nor there, and I can't prove that, and maybe it'll come out in the end. He was also taking herbal Viagra, and I have a really funny story, I guess kind of funny, weird story about herbal Viagra. Now, the herbal Viagra that he was taking, apparently the manufacturer doesn't even exist anymore. These were supposed to be pulled off shelves like over a year ago, and Dennis Hoff is still selling them at his Love Ranch, even though they are super, they can cause you to die. They're super, I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, but they're bad.
They're bad, okay?
The police have confiscated all the rest of them at the Love Ranch, but back to my story real quick with herbal Viagra. When I first moved to Florida, I picked up a telemarketing job, and the job was, I think I found it through a temp agency, actually. And the job was just answering the phone whenever somebody called in to order herbal substances, whether it be for headaches or stomach ache or vitamins, or most of it, to be really honest with you, most of it was penis enhancement medicine. Now, they sent mailers out and people would order them through mail. That was back in mail order days, or people would call in and order them, however it was. And I would get the craziest phone calls. And we actually took calls for like 4 companies, or maybe it was 6 companies. I don't know. But it was all the same thing packaged in different bottles. But people thought they were getting something different. And it's really funny. You would hear the same, you get the same person call sometimes for both of them, because they really, really just wanted their dick to work. I mean, that's really at the end of the day. I heard so many fucking crazy stories about guys' dicks not working. Guys would cry to me on the phone. It was a pretty fucked up job, right? I'm at work one day and the feds come in and bust the motherfucking place because they were selling this shit illegally. Like, you know, herbal substances are not FDA approved. That you don't know what the fuck is going in it. So they busted the place for whatever reasons. I don't really even know all of it. I just know that I was out of a job, and the feds came in and closed down shop. So that shit is nothing to fuck around with. Not at all. So back to Lamar. So he was in critical condition. Critical. Like, I'm shocked that he's alive, let alone even functioning. I mean, there once again, conflicting reports. They're saying that they're in every kind of drug imaginable in a system. Then the 911 call, they said that he was doing cocaine, and the police actually sent in and went and took blood from him to do blood tests. So I guess we'll figure all that out at some point. But I didn't even expect him to live. Whenever it happened, they called Khloe Kardashian. Obviously, she was the first one there. Her and some family members got there, and some other family members trickled in the next 12 hours or so. What we found was really, really, really interesting is that okay, Chloe and Lamar signed divorce papers back in the middle of the summer, and apparently the divorce papers have been sitting waiting to be finalized, and they say it won't be finalized till like the end of the year. So technically, Chloe and Lamar were still married. And since they are still married, Chloe made all the medical decisions for him when he was in a coma. He was in a coma, and Chloe had to make all the medical decisions about life support and everything else. There were all kinds of atrocious rumors, like Chloe brought the filming crew for Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which is absolutely asinine that people even believe that. It's asinine that people even believe that, let alone continuing to like propel that rumor, you know? Like, that's stupid. Chloe actually, just for the record, flew his 2 children, ex-girlfriend, and his father in to visit while he was critical. I mean, what a bitch, right? How dare she allow them an opportunity to see their father in case he's, I don't know, dying? What a bitch, right? Get out of here. So within, I would say, 2 days, he was squeezing Chloe and Kim's hand and his eyes were fluttering. And the doctor said, like, well, his actual, like, levels aren't really better, and, like, kind of don't get your hopes up. That could be just, like, an involuntary reaction. Within 72 hours of actually being there, he wakes up out of the coma. He wakes up. And he wakes up to Chloe saying, like, you know, I love you. And he says, hey, baby, to her. They had to put him on dialysis because his kidneys have failed. A lot of his organs were failing. Most of them have come back. His heart was failing, but it's came back. They released him a few days ago from Vegas and moved him to LA, to where they're doing a bunch of neurological tests because they don't know the extent of the damage from being in the coma and being unconscious. They're saying that the most critical thing is that he never lost oxygen, so that's why he has started to make a recovery. They're saying that he's probably going to have to be on dialysis for a while and maybe even have to have a kidney transplant because his kidneys aren't really working that well. Chloe has started setting up a rehabilitation area in her home for him. His aunt has come out and said he's taken a few steps. He's starting to get a little bit more coherent, and things are looking really good for Lamar Odom. Like, I'm completely shocked and bewildered that he is doing so well after such a critical condition. And they still say he's not out of the woods yet. He still has an acute critical condition or whatever, that he's still not out of the woods yet, but I'm just really in shock that so much has happened in, what, a week and a half? Yesterday, 2 of Chloe's most recent guys she dated, French Montana and James Harden, have both come out and said very nice things about her and how she has a really good heart and how they're really, like, proud of her for being there for him. And actually there are reports that James Harden, who's was the current boyfriend, is actually helping her out with things, which is so cool. It just shows, you know, something that I really love about the Kardashians and Jenners is that at the end of the day, it's unity, it's family. Everybody's in on when something happens, they're all in on it, and they have each other's back. And sometimes maybe they don't like what each other has to say or do, but at the end of the day, they're a family and they support and love one another, and they're friends too. And even anybody that's associated with them pretty much usually comes together for something like this, and I think that's really fucking cool. So at the end of the day, I guess this is going to be a love story. I mean, yesterday, Chloe's attorney went to the courts, and both of them had signed off saying that they wanted their divorce stopped and that they're going to give their marriage a second chance, which is like, I kind of expected something like that to happen because they both really do seemingly love each other a whole lot, but I mean, apparently he has told Chloe he's sworn off drugs, no more, he's done with that. But, you know, when people have near-death experiences and go back, so I really hope he doesn't. Me personally, he would have had to enter a rehab facility and showed me different before I just called off the divorce, but I mean, I guess they really don't have time to do that. I don't know, that's really none of our business or to be judgy. All we can really do is wish them well, and I think she's really either really a brave, wonderful person or really dumb. I don't mean to say that mean, but man, it's really hard. Like, it's a really hard situation. I don't know how I would deal with that. Like, it's a really hard situation. So I kind of feel for her. And, you know, is she reconciling right now to give him hope, to help him recover at this point so that he doesn't, like, get into a depression? Or is she, I feel like she's all in. I feel like she's all in because she's always been, like, super into Lamar. And She's even said at one point she was obsessed with Lamar in a sense. So I think she's in it for the long haul, and I think this opened hopefully both of their eyes, and I really hope that, you know, I hope the best for both of them. Well, that's all I have for you today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please share, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, be nice to each other, because remember, nobody likes a fucking asshole. Mwah. Bye.